Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. For only $99, you can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. On the web at tv33whpr.com. With the TV33 app. On Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, on Amazon Echo, and on Amazon Fire TV. Act now. Time slots are limited. Sign up today and get a free replay with the purchase of your time slot. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
I pledge to stay drug-free.
I plan to stay drug-free.
I pledge to stay drug-free.
I pledge to be drug-free.
I pledge to stay drug-free.
And good afternoon, and welcome to Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. I'm your host, Darwin Griffin, and I hope that you will be enlightened for the next half an hour by my special guest, Miss Leandra King. And she's got the first Detroit farm and cider mill in the city of Detroit. And today we are live. And again, if you would like to call in, you can call in to the show. But if you have questions, you can also Google the questions to me, or you can go on my Facebook Live and you'll be able to go and see also in the watch party. So any questions you may have, just Google them into the Facebook Live as well as in our watch party. But I am joined today by Miss Vicki Dobbins. Everybody knows her. They don't have to go and Google her name, because everybody in the city of River Rouge knows who Vicki Dobbins is. And just for the one or two people in the nation that don't know who Vicki Dobbins is, she is on the school board in the awesome city of River Rouge, Michigan. And also, too, I just want to thank R.J. Watkins and also Henry Tyler for allowing us this half an hour to spend with you, as well as we are live in the awesome cities of Detroit, Michigan, under the auspices of the Honorable Mayor Michael Duggan, as well as in the phenomenal city of Highland Park, Michigan, under the auspices of the Honorable Mayor Hubert Yap. We've got a lot to talk about this afternoon, but before we get started, I just want to say especially to the family, a good friend of mine, Keith Williams, his sister, her name is Brenda Bellamy, and she is under the weather with the COVID-19 virus, which a lot of us have, family members or have friends, or we've lost people to the virus. So just want you to keep Keith Williams' family lifted up in prayer for the health and the get well wishes for his sister, Miss Brenda Bellamy. As well as we'd like to also go and extend our well wishes and our get well wishes to the Sheriff Benny Napoleon's family. We know that he has been stricken with the virus, and we definitely hope and pray that he makes a full recovery as he goes through the illness. As well as we'd like to express our condolences and our sympathies to the family of the Honorable Jewel Ware, Wayne County Commissioner. And we know that there's going to be a homegoing celebration for her this week. So we definitely want to extend our thoughts and our prayers to her family and her friends, her colleagues, as well as her constituents in the city of Detroit. As well as just one more, I'd like to express our condolences and our prayers and sympathies to the family of Miss Paula Humphreys. And she made her transition yesterday, I believe. So we just want to also express our prayers and our sympathies and condolences to her family and friends. But today we're going to, and also want to give a little shout out, a little thanks to the election committee that they had went yesterday and they made it official that the president-elect, Joe Biden, is going to be our 46th president of the United States. So the Electoral College here in the state of Michigan certified the election, and he was awarded the, I believe it's 16 Electoral College votes. So we just want to congratulate the President-elect Joe Biden and the Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. So we'll look forward to the inauguration on the 20th of next month, and we hope that everybody has a safe and prosperous new year. So let's get started. We've got a special guest today. I had went out to the orchard. I had heard about the orchard, and I've been going to other orchards throughout the suburbs of Detroit. And then when I saw something that said that we had a black-owned apple orchard, I was like, wow, as much as I love to go to the orchard, but when I found out that we had one here in Detroit, I was like, my boy, I definitely got to go and support it. So when I went there and I looked and I was like fascinated, in terms of say it's something here, and I grew up in the neighborhood where this orchard is at. And it's not that far. It's on a street called Lawrence, and it's right there near Woodrow Wilson. Down the street, a lot of people know that area because used to be I think Metropolitan Hospital used to be over in that area, and then also the Youthville. I'm sorry, not Youthville, but the it's escaping me right now, but the Job Corps is within a half a mile from there. So a lot of you know the area right there near Webb and John C. Lodge and Woodrow Wilson. But our special guest today is a Miss Leandra King, and she is I want to say the right word in terms of say the founder of the Detroit Farm and Cider Mill. Miss King, thank you for coming on the show with us today. It's been a pleasure to get a chance to meet you, and I hope that a lot of people that are watching the show will come and patronize your farm. But thank you for coming on, Miss King.
Thank you for having me.
Now, can you tell us a little bit first about you, a little bit about your background? Were you born and raised here in the city of Detroit?
Yes. So I was in foster care and went through a series of juvenile homes and came back to Detroit when I was an adult.
So what inspired you to want to start this apple orchard?
I saw a need for it in the city of Detroit, and it was an awesome way to create a platform for some of the youth programs that we wanted to do.
So when you started the orchard, what really, in terms of, was there something in particular that kind of, another orchard that you had went to that pretty much like, kind of inspired you to try and do some of the things at your orchard that you saw at some of the other orchards, or was there some things that you didn't see at other orchards that you wanted to implement in your orchard?
So I think there was a need for a cider mill in the city of Detroit. That definitely was the catalyst for the vision. When I was younger, I went to a few orchards with a neighbor of mine. She took me, and I just remember having fond memories of being able to connect with nature and just indulge in that, immerse myself in that experience. And so, as I began farming and homesteading in Detroit, I noticed that was something that was lacking. And I also noticed that a lot of kids had never been to an orchard because of the distance between the nearest orchard and the city.
Now, how far because I know when I was a kid, I used to love to go to the orchard. Used to love to go to a farm where we would go and be able to run around and chase the chickens and take the eggs off the nests and do all those good little things. But when you talk about your orchard, now I know when I went, the trees were devoid of any fruit.
Right.
So why was that?
So I think actually all the orchards in Michigan suffered from a late frost in spring. Our blossoms came. Our trees are very healthy. They just underwent a pruning. But when the frost came, the blossoms died. And so we had some apples, but because of that frost, we used those apples to make apple butter. And our plan next year or in the spring is we've allocated a few more orchards where we can source apples from in case that ever happens again, because I think that's the first occurrence of that happening with a lot of farmers. So the weather's been a little funky this year, and a lot of things I think have been a little unorthodox. But we're adapting to different changes, and we'll have our commercial press, and we'll be pressing our own cider.
Now, when you talk about some of the things that you have there, what are some of the features that you have there at your orchard?
So we have horseback riding, we have pony rides for the kids, we have hay rides. What we're incorporating for the spring, for going forward into next year, is a greenhouse farm-to-table restaurant. The idea is to be able to access fresh produce and also be able to enjoy a unique styled restaurant on the farm. We've had discussions about hard cider, as well as different youth programs involving the horses and camping experiences on the farm.
So people can go camping?
So as of now, through hipcamp.com, you can book or reserve a campsite on the farm. Our plan is to organize it a little bit better so that way we can have youth camp. An actual youth camp for the kids in the city of Detroit to be able to access this youth camp free of charge.
Now, I know people that are probably looking at the show and listening to the show, they're probably anxious. They're probably saying, Darwin, tell exactly where this is located at. Give your address, please, Ms. King.
Right, so we are at 1600 Lawrence Street in Detroit. That's 48206. We're right between Woodrow Wilson and Rosa Parks, and not far from the Job Corps.
Okay. Vicki, I know I can see you over there now. You're chomping at the bit. I know you want to ask a few questions of our guests.
Yes, I do. Thank you so much, Darwin. So, Ms. King, I was a part of a organization, and I still am. One of them is the Bioneers. This comes through the Mary Grove College.
Yeah.
And how are you affiliated with them any? Because what they do is take a bus ride. They take students and they go to places like yours, farms, and they show young people the environment and what's going on. Have you ever experienced anything with the Bioneers?
So my experience with the Bioneers was one of their conferences a few years back.
Exactly.
And I attended a workshop under Dean Bednar through Strawbill Studios, which is a phenomenal program. And it's something that we want to incorporate on the farm. We have all these ideas, and creating a platform is our first goal. So definitely inviting the schools from the city of Detroit, once we are a little bit more structured and we have our commercial press and we have our pole barns where you can purchase retail items and things of that nature. One of the things I want to make sure we do is we make this accessible and free to Detroit public schools.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
So there definitely will be benefits for being a Detroit resident or a Detroit public school.
Great.
When coming and visiting the farm.
Wonderful. And again, I'm also a member of the Sierra Club.
Okay.
And the Sierra Club is focused on the environment.
Right.
So we want to know, is your ground, how do you till your ground? I mean, if you got vegetables there and they are fresh and they're going to be, I don't want to say poison free.
Right.
That means that you don't have a lot of chemicals in the ground.
Right.
And what about how your tomatoes come up? Do you nourish them with regular water? Do you wait for the rain? You know, how does that go? How do we harvest our gardens then?
So we focus on a back to Eden method. We utilize wood chips and leaves and natural elements to provide moisture and nutrients to our plants and to minimize our need for irrigation. So a lot of what we also use to treat our plants when we're growing our crops is all of it is organic and chemical free, but we focus on trying to use a biodiverse setup. So we're trying to use things that we have on the farm. So, for instance, with our trees, we'll ferment comfrey, which we grow, and many people assume is a weed, but we grow it just. We don't actually grow it, it just grows itself on the farm. And we'll ferment it for a couple weeks, and we'll take that fermented comfrey and we'll spray our trees. And this is used to ward off pest and fungus. We use organic sulfur to treat fungus and black knot on the trees. And if we have mold on our fruit trees, we'll use milk. So we try to focus on some of these not only inexpensive methods, but organic methods to function.
So, you know, we talked earlier and you were telling me your story. I just found it so phenomenal that a single female would come up with this idea of farming. I mean, I don't even know how to grow a tomato. So who would think about a whole farm? Do you have engineers, scientists, people who have been farming for years and years to come in and help you? How do you know about this kind of stuff? How do you know, to organically grow greens and spinach and tomatoes and potatoes and those kind of things? How do you, did you read books? What happened?
Well, I saw you, Vicki, looked like you when she first came. You kept looking at her thumb to see if it was green in color. So,
I think she's got a green thumb.
Okay,
Yeah,
I would
believe
think
she
so
does.
too.
Not yet.
Because we talked and I just couldn't believe some of the things that she has done, and she did it on her own, and no one asked her to do it. No one made her do it. It was just in her to be a farmer. Can I say farmer?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. So, it was just in her to be a farmer. I just, that's amazing to me.
Thank you.
It is.
So I can't take credit for my knowledge. I discovered a desire that I had early on, and as all desires, they must be nourished by someone who has experience. And so, there's so many different, so many other black farmers within the city of Detroit that have been around since I was in diapers. And they've set the precedence for farming and agricultural development within the city of Detroit. long before I had even farming was a thought in my mind. Malik Yakini with D-Town Farms. You have Candy and Mark with CWO Farms. There's so many different awesome farms who, when I decided that this was what I wanted to do, I simply just went and visited them. As far as experience with growing in my green thumb, I don't think I'm that seasoned yet to where I could say I have a green thumb. But reading the back of seed labels and YouTubing things and Googling, I was telling somebody the other day, essentially when I started my nonprofit, I just Googled how to start a nonprofit and followed the instructions.
So again, when I took my tour with the Bioneers, we did go to a farm in the city of Detroit.
Right.
And guess what? They had goats and turkeys
Yeah.
and animals. I mean, in the city of Detroit, I was shocked. I didn't know that we had those kinds of things right in the city of Detroit. Do you have any animals at your farm?
Yes. So we have goats, we have chickens, we have cats to keep away the mice, and dogs to protect the chickens. And we have horses. We have a pony. And so we plan on getting more animals as the city permits. But yeah, definitely we want to harness this experience for Detroiters. And so do other farms, you know. And
Oh, that's awesome.
there's been a very long battle. And I wouldn't say battle, it's been a long process that other farmers have been going through with animal husbandry in the city of Detroit, even before I had gotten my animals. And so I always want to bring attention and focus to that process, educating people within the city on animal husbandry, creating an infrastructure that is conducive to farmers, for farmers to have their animals in an educational manner or energy, and be able to, you know, provide this so schools and kids and families don't have to travel all the way out to rural areas, especially when the city of Detroit is technically considered a rural area because we are predominantly vacant land. And so it's not a city environment where you would have to worry about some of these dynamics, having animals if they were to get loose. I mean, you have a lot of blight that is now being knocked down and turned into vacant land that could be
Yes.
used for farming.
Well, in the short period of time that we have too, Ms. King, talk about, is there any cost involved? So if a group wanted to come to your orchard, is there any cost involved with a group that wants to come to patronize your orchard?
Right, so we have a Kwanzaa event coming up. That will be the only event that we will be charging, and as of now, charging admission fees for. Otherwise, we are completely free admission. And you know, if whatever items that you see that you want at the farm or activities that you want to pay for a la carte, then that's that. But or that would be separate. As far as our upcoming event, which is going to be our biggest and most phenomenal event, that's our Kwanzaa event. It starts December 26th, the day after Christmas, and will last 7 days until January 1st. So we'll have vendors, and the reason why we are charging an admission fee for this is because we have small Black-owned businesses within the city of Detroit that we're trying to support. And so we're going to pull back some of the things that we traditionally sell when we're open for our events and allow these vendors to sell their products.
So is it too late if a vendor wanted to be a part of this Kwanzaa celebration? Is it too late to
Absolutely
contact
not.
you?
No, please. By all means, we are looking for Detroit vendors within the city of Detroit that small Black-owned businesses that are have culturally geared products and have either a business license or are able to, you know, showcase their products to us. And of course, they can contact me directly.
And what are your hours?
Our hours as of now are from noon to 7 every weekend, although this weekend it does seem like we might be preparing for our Kwanzaa event, so we're going to be doing some prep for that. But starting December 26th, we will extend our hours from 10 to 8.
And this is going to be Monday through,
This will be from the 26th,
which
to,
is Friday,
Yep.
which is Saturday.
Saturday,
Okay.
to January 1st, from 10 to 8.
So let me sure I'm understanding right. So is this going to be open then every day?
Every single day, and that is the goal at especially after this Kwanzaa event, which will be essentially our last big event for the season until spring. The goal is to be open every single day, providing the horseback riding, the equine program for the youth and for other people, and all of our amenities.
Well, you know, a lot of people know, some people might not know, my degree is in biology, so if I can help in any kind of way when you mentioned about animal husbandry, that really, you know, sprung home with me, you know,
Right.
because of all the classes that I took at Michigan State. But before we sign off in a few minutes, give your contact information again, give your location. If a person wanted to be a part of this awesome Kwanzaa celebration that you've got coming up, how would they get in contact with you? What's the phone number or email address that they can go into to find out more about this Kwanzaa celebration you've got coming up?
So if small black businesses want to get in contact with us and become vendors, the best way to do so is through our Facebook page, which is Detroit Farm Insider. Again, that's Detroit Farm Insider on Facebook as well as Instagram, but the easiest way to get in contact with us is through Facebook. And then from there, we'll go through an application process, which is very brief and easy, and we'll ask the vendors to submit photos of their products to showcase. And then anybody else who's interested in getting in contact with us can either just come to the farm when we're open, or contact us through Facebook as well. And we're DetroitFarmInsider.com.
DetroitFarmInsider.com.
Yes.
Okay, great. Vicki, one last question you have?
One last question. So how do you advertise? Because this is my first time meeting you and knowing
Right.
that we even had a farm. So how do you advertise?
So we most of our advertising was through the graciousness of Channel 7 and Channel 4.
Oh, okay.
And so word of mouth advertisement, but primarily if people want to know what's going on, like I said before, they can go to our Facebook page and follow us, Detroit Farm Insider on Facebook.
Yes.
And everything that's posted on Facebook will also be transferred into Instagram as well.
Great. Thank you so much.
Well, this has been a phenomenal, this seems like this half an hour went by so fast.
I know.
But we've got to have you come back again,
Absolutely.
you know, to go and talk. And so just in the closing minutes that we have, what is your future goals? So in 5 years, what would you like to see Detroit Farm Insider be at?
I would like to see it, we definitely have pole barns that we're interested in purchasing once we're able to allocate funding. One of the pole barns will have our commercial press, a traditional cider mill, but more, harnessing the environment or the space for youth programs. And one of the niches is, of course, the hard cider. We definitely want to do hard cider, but we also want to make our greenhouse restaurant accessible to everybody. So we'll be accepting EBT for the fresh produce, which can then be cooked for a fee on a Mongolian-style grill in the greenhouse. So essentially, you're able to experience a 5-star experience, but for an affordable price.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And we accept EBT already, so that's definitely somebody, if people are interested in participating in our CSA, and you receive assistance, then we welcome you. We urge you to come and purchase a CSA box from us.
That is awesome. Well, Leandra, it has been a pleasure getting a chance to get acquainted with you.
Thank you.
And with the Detroit Farm Insider. Vicki Dobbins, as always, it's a pleasure having you
Thank
as
you
a
so
part of
much.
the show, and I hope that you will get a lot of those River Rouge
And
individuals to come.
listen, I can't wait to get back to my school so we can get a bus and go to the farm. Isn't that wonderful?
That's awesome.
That'd
That
be
is
great.
awesome.
Yes.
Well, I just want to thank everyone, and I definitely want to mention that if you are interested in advertising in the Detroit Native Sun newspaper, you can contact Ms. Valerie Lockhart at area code 313-457-5944, and you can pick up a copy of your Detroit Native Sun News at the local Kroger supermarkets. But again, just want to thank you for being a part of our show today. I definitely want everybody to have a very, very safe Christmas and a Happy New Year. Peace.